Have you ever noticed that British people don't always say the words, I agree? Instead, they say things like, fair enough, you're not wrong there, or spot on, and so many other options. And sometimes you genuinely have no idea whether they strongly agree with you or just slightly agree. So in this lesson, I'm going to teach you 16 very British ways to say I agree, from strong agreement to less, well, slightly weaker agreement. And I'm also going to teach you a big mistake that I have heard so many students make related to these words. And if you want to learn even more real British English related to this lesson, you can download a free PDF. But now let's talk about one of the biggest mistakes that I hear students make. Now in this lesson, as I said, I'm going to teach you some alternatives to I agree, but that doesn't mean we don't say I agree. We do. We just have other options, and variety is the spice of life. But one of the biggest mistakes that I hear some students make is saying I'm agree. It's like I am agree. And I've often heard students say this, and sometimes I'll reply, what, you are Greek? No, I'm agree. We do not say I'm agree. The word agree is a verb. I agree, you agree, he agrees, so on. We do not need the verb to be. But now let's learn some alternatives to the words I agree to spice up your English. First of all, in terms of strong agreement, we have absolutely. Absolutely. This is one of the strongest and most natural ways to agree in British English. For example, oh, the weather's awful today. Absolutely. Or do you fancy going out tonight? Absolutely. You can also extend it, stretch it, say things like, oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Or absolutely, mate. Or sometimes people put an extra word in the middle and say something like abso-bloody-lutely. There are worse alternatives. Something really important to notice is that British people often use tone to convey their emotions. So maybe if they're agreeing with something positive, it's like, absolutely. And if it's something negative, absolutely. Spot on is also very strong and very British. It means exactly right. What you said, spot on. You'll hear this down the pub, in workplaces, conversations about football, and everyday speech. And you can even use it to praise someone or something. For example, that curry was spot on. You're not wrong, or you're not wrong there. It's strong agreement disguised as negativity. This is really British. Instead of saying you're correct, we say you're not wrong. The trains are so expensive these days. Yeah, you're not wrong. Or I think the boss is in a bad mood. Yeah, you're not wrong there. To non-native speakers, this can sound confusing because it sounds slightly negative, but actually, it usually means I strongly agree with you. You're not wrong means you are right. Culturally, British people often soften agreement by phrasing it negatively. Fair enough can be pretty loaded, and it's really important to note the tone. It can be casual or neutral agreement, and sometimes it can mean I understand your point or that seems reasonable. I think it's getting a bit late to go, yeah, fair enough. That means I understand your point or I agree with you. And sometimes the words fair enough, depending on tone, is genuine agreement, whereas sometimes it can also mean I don't fully agree with you, but I accept it. I don't want to do anything tonight. Fair enough. And sometimes it can even mean I think you're a bit of an idiot, but I can't really be bothered to argue with you more. It was completely your fault. Oh, fair enough. It's like, I disagree entirely with what you say, but what is the point? So this expression totally depends on tone of voice. The more positive and lighter it sounds, the more likely it is to be genuine. Oh, fair enough. It's almost showing surprise that I didn't realise that that was true. If you want to show strong informal agreement, you could say, too right. That means absolutely correct. A cup of tea solves most problems, too right. You can also put an extra word in the middle, like too damn right, or too bloody right, or, well, we can get worse, but not on this channel. This is particularly natural in pub conversations and relaxed speech when you want to show strong, supportive agreement. I know what you mean is an example of soft, emotional agreement. British people love emotional agreement. Sometimes we don't directly say, I agree. Instead, we say, yeah, I know what you mean. This basically means I understand your point of view. Yeah, and I agree with you. It can also show an element of, yes, I've had that experience as well, and I can share and understand your experience. For example, moving to another country can feel lonely. Yeah, I know what you mean. However, I will also say, don't question that person as to whether they've had that experience, because they may just be being nice. Oh, have you moved to another country? No, but yeah, I can see your point. Fair play is respectful British agreement. This is really British. It means, yeah, I respect that. That's reasonable or good for you. I think I'm going to skip dinner. Fair play. But I will also say, depending again on tone of voice, this could also be, I think that's ridiculous. I'm going to go bungee jumping. Huh. Oh, fair play. Tone of voice matters. That's a fair point, is polite, intelligent agreement. It's very common in the workplace in professional British English. For example, I think people learn faster when they're relaxed. Yeah, that's a fair point, actually. Notice that British people often add words like actually to reinforce this, or they'll add words like to be fair in a conversation to soften it. Please remember there is a free PDF that you can download to learn even more. But next up, we have I couldn't agree more. This is extremely strong agreement. It means there is no more agreement that I can add to your point of view. You are so right. I am 100% behind you. Learning culture is just as important as learning vocabulary. I couldn't agree more. I often say that language is more than just words, it is culture. Hopefully, you couldn't agree more. So moving from strong to weak, we have I suppose so. This is weak, reluctant agreement. It's like conceding a point. Oh, I think that summer's the best season. Yeah, I suppose so. And we even use this to answer questions to often make it just go away, like, oh yeah, whatever. Yeah, I suppose so. An equivalent to this would be like, yeah, I guess. And it often means, yes, but I'm not really emotionally committed to this opinion. British people often avoid sounding too certain, especially socially. I think he was completely in the wrong. Yeah, I suppose so. Sticking with social, let's talk about informal British agreement. And we have that's bang on. Bang on means exactly correct. You were bang on when you said that. In other words, you were exactly right. I completely agree with what you said. I can't argue with that is usually used for strong agreement when there is no point in arguing. For example, a full English breakfast isn't exactly healthy. Yeah, well, I can't argue with that. But sometimes it can also mean I don't necessarily want to agree. But whatever, you're correct. Well, can't argue with that. Again, tone is everything. It matters. We sometimes say exactly for fast, casual agreement. British people apologise all the time. Exactly. This is when we want to say we agree and you are right in what you say. We use this all the time in quick conversations. I'd say so can be soft British agreement. British people often soften opinions with words like I'd say, or I'd imagine, or probably, perhaps, maybe. Is London expensive? Yeah, I'd say so. It's like saying, in my opinion, but I may be wrong. It's a kind of hedging expression. Oh, the trains are always busy in London. Yeah, I'd say so. You've hit the nail on the head means you've described the situation perfectly, or you've got that exactly right. British people often avoid direct confrontation. You've hit the nail on the head there. In other words, what you said is exactly right. This is a fantastic expression that I actually do use. And one of the most confusing expressions on this list is tell me about it. Tell me about it does not mean tell me about it. It is not a request to explain something. The weather's awful today. Tell me about it. It means I agree. I completely understand it, possibly because I've experienced it too. I'm exhausted this week. Tell me about it. We do not want to know why you're exhausted or why you think the weather is bad. I know that's quite counterintuitive, but this expression shows that we agree completely. And yes, I do understand that that's very counterintuitive. So the next time you want to say to somebody that you agree with something, now you have a lot more natural options. And if you want to continue learning real British English, there is a free PDF you can download in the description below. And please remember to like and hype the lesson, as it really does help. Thank you very much for watching, you wonderful people, and I'll see you in the next lesson.